everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine and welcome to my new subscribers. Just have to say one thing. Allergies suck. This is like half of the swelling that's been going on because I couldn't afford the shots in February for my allergies and birch trees and late spring and everybody mowing their lawn at the same time. Anyways, so I'm going to do my weekly wrap-up, which I've only finished 2 books, so it's going to be quick. Then I'm going to do my May TBR, June TBR, wow, it's June already. And then in another video, I will do a TBR for the Summer Romance Book Bingo that I am co-hosting. And there's also another co-host, it's Bree Hill. She used to be a booktuber, and now she just has a blog. But I'll put her, all the links are going to be below with all the bingo cards you can get, the group that you can join for this, and it's started by Sarah from Steeped in Books, and it's her Goodreads group, Create Your Own Readathon books, and Create Your Own Readathon. Never mind the books, and all the links for the co-host. Wow, I'm flustered today. So I do have a few to talk about, and I'm hoping that reading picks up because I am loving my Kobo. As you know, I used to read books on my tablet, and I didn't get very much enjoyment from it. It's heavy. But I got a Kobo for Mother's Day and love it. I'm loving it. So the first book I finished was The Darkest Hour by Maya Banks. I know it's hard to see. I can't find my tripod to use my other camera, so this one's going to have to deal for now. This is a book 1 in the KGI series. And it starts off with the year anniversary of, I can't remember the names now. Wow, I can't remember the names. Let's see if I can get it real quick. Sorry, bear with me. While it's loading up. Ethan and Rachel. I didn't even have to see it. The anniversary of Rachel's death. And there we go. So he used to be a former Navy SEAL, and his brothers have this like military type business where they go in and find kidnapped people and lost people and stuff like that. And they've been bugging him for a year to come and join them, and he's like, no, I'm not joining. So on the year anniversary, Ethan gets this package saying that his wife is in fact still alive, and she's in Colombia, South America. So he goes to his brothers and says, okay, I'm in. We got to go find her. So they go into the jungle, find her, and find that she had been kept doped up to the point where she can't function. She can't remember anything. So they get her out. And they bring her home, and they're trying to they're trying to keep everything nice and calm towards her so that she doesn't get freaked out because, heroin and cocaine withdrawals and stuff like that. It was a really good book. It was, I gave it a 4 stars. Wow. It was a little bit long, a little bit dry in a few places, but it was a second chance romance sort of deal because before I won't say much, but before she went to Colombia, because she was on this mercy mission, and it was on the way back, she was in a plane crash that she died. And Ethan said a few things to her that kind of left them on a really bad note, and then she dies. So it's that coming to find out why she was kept doped up, and that she was the only well, no, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, so it's their story. And then the other book I finished yesterday was One Night with a Cowboy by Kat Johnson. This is book 1 in the, I don't know if there's a name for it, Oklahoma Nights romance series. He is a bull rider, and his name is Tucker, and hers is Becca. So it starts off with Becca in her boss's office. She's a teacher at Vassar University, and because of budget cuts, and she was the last hire, she doesn't have tenure, she's not an associate professor, they have to let her go. So on her way home, she discovers her boyfriend, fiance, whatever, moving out secretly, and he's a coward, loser type. So her sister decides to put out her resume to this other college in Oklahoma, or university, because her sister's just pretty much going through her savings and not doing anything. So they decide to go. She gets a call back and says, "We'd like to meet you. Can you be here next week?" So they fly out to Oklahoma. They go to a rodeo. And Tucker is a bull rider and decides that he likes the look of her, cute stuff, and goes and gets her from the nosebleed section and pulls her down to where they are, like in the, I wouldn't say VIP section, but where all the bull riders and cowboys are for the rodeo. And of course, things lead, as they do in romance, but there's a lot more to it. The thing is, all that happens in like the first third, of the book. And then, whatever says on the back is the last 2/3. So, yeah, she gets ultimately hired, and he's also a professor at the Oklahoma University, but they don't talk about that. They didn't know each one was working there. So, yeah, there's a lot more to it, obviously. He's also a soldier. So, yeah. I gave it a 4. It was really good, too. I like the writing style. I really do, of both of these. Like, I think that was my first Maya Banks, and this is my first Kat Johnson, so I'm enjoying them. So currently reading, I am currently reading Man of My Dreams by Joanna Lindsay, and I'll probably have this finished. I just started it, but I'll probably have it finished tomorrow, because I have stuff to do today. So this is about a woman who, she's not a peasant, but she wants to marry up and snub this woman that refuses to invite her to her soirees, parties, because she looks down her nose at her. So she wants to marry this duke, and so she could look down her nose at this woman. That's pretty much as far as I got so far. And of course, it's my favorite one of my favorite authors. So the other book I'm currently reading, I don't know if I'm just going to finish it myself, because my son, we read the first 2. I had him chapters. I had him laughing, and he can't remember a thing because he's not really wanting to listen to it. So it's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, book 1, The Lightning Thief by Riordan. I'm liking it. I think it's hilarious. And some of the chapter names, like Grover loses his pants, and I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. My dinner goes up in smoke. I became a known fugitive. So we'll see. I think everybody knows what it's about. But my son's doctor recommended, because of the ADHD and the autistic kind of stuff that is in here, and that he's got ADHD and he can't focus, and he's going from school to school to school to school, and he's half God. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So now on to the June TBR. As you know, I do the Romance Readers Reading Challenge every month, so I will be doing that. And the first challenge is J is for June. Read a book that starts with J, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with a J. And I chose A Little Dare by Brenda Jackson. It's book 2 in the Westmoreland series. And then challenge 2 is bird of the month, dove. The dove represents represents peace of the deepest kind. It soothes and quiets our worried or troubled thoughts, enabling us to find renewal in the silence of the mind. The dove's roles as spirit messenger, maternal symbol, and liaison impart an inner peace that helps us to go about our lives calmly and with purpose. Read a book where someone makes a spiritual journey, or someone who works through a difficult time to find peace, or features someone in the military returning home, or a book with a main character who is a mother. And I think that's the one I went with on this one. And it's a mother. And it's Mary Balog's Simply Love, and I think it's book 1 in a series. Might not be. But I just kind of did a search, so I'm not sure. So there's that one. So challenge 3 is featured author challenge. The Queen of Romance is Susan Mallory. The Princess of Romance is Anna Campbell. You can read a whole bunch of, a book from either one, or they give you little snippets about each one that you can read a book. So you may also read a book set in Washington, or by an author who is from Washington. You can also read a book by an animal with an animal on the cover, or in the book, or is shelved as contemporary romance, or as humorous. So I went with Chasing Perfect. Okay, that's not working. There we go. Chasing Perfect by Susan Mallory. You can't really see it. It's book 1 in the Fool's Gold series, which I've been wanting to read since Sarah raves over it. So yeah, there's that. So challenge 4 is graduation. It's the time of year for graduations in the U.S. In Canada too. Graduations are a rite of passage, whether from college, high school, or kindergarten. Read a book that includes a rite of passage or a graduation, or a YA or NA book, new adult, or a coming-of-age story, or a book where one of the main characters has school-age child or children, and I chose Dirty Secret by Emma Hart. If it'll come up. And I think it has to do with, and it's the Burke Brothers book 1. I can't remember if it's, I think it's the coming of age part, or the new adult. That's what it was. It was the new adult. So challenge 5, and sorry if you can hear the garbage trucks go by. National Black Bear Day, first Saturday in June. National Black Bear Day celebrates America's black bears with the hope of educating people about the bears and dispelling myths. And 3 days ago, there was a black bear next door. Read a book with a bear shifter or other shifter, or with an outdoor setting, or features nature on the cover. And that I chose Welcome to Harmony by Jodie Thomas. And I'm also going to be reading this one for one of the categories in the Summer Romance Book Bingo. And that's taking place in a small town. So, like I said, I'll have another video for that. 6 is First Day of Summer. June 21st marks the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Summer is often a time for travel and relaxation, and brings to mind sunny days, beaches, and hammocks. Read a book perfect for the beach, or set in the summer, or features a vacation no matter what time of year or travel. And this is Chasing Fire by Nora Roberts. And I just think Nora Roberts is perfect beach weather reads. So there's that one. And then number 7 is Queen's Day. New Zealanders celebrate the Queen's birthday on the first Monday in June. New Zealand is a constitutional monarchy, and Queen Elizabeth is the current head of state. Read a book featuring royalty, or set in New Zealand, or has a character named Elizabeth, or a book with outdoor sports featured somehow in the story. The long weekend marks the opening of the ski season in New Zealand. So I chose Mr. Imperfect by Karina Bliss. Oh, it's going to bring up. Unfortunately, it's hard to see. And I believe it's set in New Zealand. So And one last one. Okay, that was 7. Number 8 is Western Australia Day. Western Australia Day, formerly known as Foundation Day, is celebrated on the first Monday in June. It commemorates the founding of the Swan River Colony in 1829, which opened Western Australia to British settlement. Read a book set in Australia, or with an Australian character or author, or a historical romance, or has the numbers 18 or 29 in the page count. And I believe I went with Australia. And that is Dark Torment by Karen Roberts. I think it's book 1 in the series. I can't remember. So those are all the ebooks I'll be reading. And then number 9 is Father's Day. In the U.S., Father's Day is celebrated on June 16th this year. Father's Day began being celebrated in the U.S. in the 20th century. It is meant to honor fathers and male parenting. Read a book with a main character who is a father or becomes one in the book, or a book published in the 20th century, or a book featuring bondage, since ties are a cliched Father's Day gift. And, haha. So for that one, I'm going to be reading Nicholas Sparks' Safe Haven. It's only my second Nicholas Sparks book, but my sister-in-law gave me, like, almost all of them. So, and I like the first one. Okay, I don't mind. I've said this in previous videos that I've done. His movies, we consider Kim movies, and that is my sister-in-law Kim. Any chick lit, female, woman's fiction, whatever. We always consider those Kim movies. That's how me and my husband describe them, because we like horror, action, stuff like that. And I'm not a big movie person to begin with. Whereas his whole entire family, any family gathering, they plug in a movie, and I couldn't be bothered. So all of Nicholas Sparks' movies are Kim movies. And I never had a wish to read Nicholas Sparks because of that. I did read The Notebook and fell in love with it. And I don't know if I'm going to watch the movie or not. But I have to be in the mood for his books. So there's that. And then challenge 10 is always read what you want, like Reader's Choice. So these books are always on hold, so I have to read this first. Because, the movie coming out. But it's After We Collided by Anna Todd. This is book 2 in the After series. It is a toxic relationship. It is pretty much new adult. But I just couldn't put it down. Wow, and I need to know what happens, and it's a chunker. So in a way, it's good that I have a whole bunch of ebooks, because I can actually get through those faster. And yeah, so this one is 671 pages and 123 chapters. I love the shorter chapters because I get through them faster. So there's the Romance Readers Reading Challenge. And because I have library books that are due and I can't renew them anymore, I'm going to be picking up Night by Elie Wiesel. My daughter had to read this for school, and I wanted to pick it up. I've been wanting to pick it up for a while. And this is the memoir. The other two, Dawn and Day, are a fictionalized version of it. So she's reading Dawn right now, and we have Day waiting. But I've been wanting to read this, and she loved it. And for my daughter to pick up a book nowadays and love it is huge. Like, she used to read when she was a kid, but then, teenagers, puberty happened, and so yeah, there's that one. This one, I've checked it out a couple of times. I've been wanting to get to it, I just never do, and this time I'm really going to. Don't quote me on that. It's The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson, and it's one of those funny cranky old man, kind of Swedish books. So, and also I'm going to try and read Grace's Forgiveness by Molly Jebber. It's book 2 in the Pocket Quilt novels. I think it's pocket quilt novels. And did I read the first one in April? And I kind of didn't like it, but I kind of did. It was because of the writing was so stilted, like the way they talked. I know Amish, because of the Pennsylvania Dutch, they have kind of a stilted talking. But in some spots, they were talking in full sentences, and others, it was just cut and pasted. So I'm hoping this one's a little bit better. This is Grace's story, and the first one was A Change of Heart. Keepsake pocket quilt, that's what it was. So Grace is the girl from the first book's best friend. She's still Amish, but the girl from the first book decides to leave the Amish, but still acts like Amish. Anyways, so that is my monthly plans for this month. There might be more because of the romance readers. No. Summer romance book bingo. Too many long titles right now. So yeah, it should be interesting because my customer has come back. So we'll see. But it's easier to read an ebook while I'm standing at the machines than, Anyhow, I think that's going to be it for now. It's 21 minutes long, and if you've lasted this long, thanks. I will talk to you later. Bye.